So, good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Yoga. My name is Megan, if we have not met yet. So, if you've ever been to my class or been to my Instagram, you know I like to talk about the moon. And tomorrow is a new moon. And it is related, new moons are related to a woman's menstruation cycle. So, it is about letting go of things that no longer serve you, releasing what's from the past. It's also a very, very introspective time. So I thought today we would do a little bit of an introspective practice of yin. So normally in a yin class we would hold shapes for 5 or 10 minutes, but since this is only a 20-minute good morning class, we'll be holding them just for a couple of minutes at a time. You have the option of sitting on a blanket for the first handful of shapes, and you also have the option for the first handful of shapes to sit with your back against a wall. I can give you a little extra support if that's how you're feeling this morning. But the first shape we're going to head into is butterfly. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see a bit how I'm using the blanket. What the blanket does is get your hips just a little bit higher, which can be a bit more comfortable, but either on the floor or on a blanket. And again, you could sit with your back along the wall. We're going to bring your feet together. And there are some options from here, whether your feet stay pretty close to you, you might feel a little more inner thigh adductors, or they extend out a little longer, which might feel a bit more in the outer leg. Maybe you're somewhere right in the middle. That's kind of where I'm feeling today. So we'll start here with a bit of centering. So take a moment, maybe hands come beside you to start, but feel your sit bones ground. And then take a moment to feel that swirly part of the crown of your head lifting up toward the ceiling. And then maybe your eyes close or your gaze relaxes down. Just take a moment to go within. So that may mean bringing awareness to your breath. Or noticing a sensation in your body. And then once you feel like you've settled a little more introspectively, maybe you start to settle a little deeper into the shape. So you could stay seated right here with a tall spine, or maybe you start to hinge forward at the hip. Bringing hands maybe more toward the front. So with yin, we don't force. We're just allowing the shape to open. So be pretty gentle, especially if this is the first time you've been in the shape today. And then as you settle into the shape, you might bring awareness to your breath. And maybe see if on some exhales you can settle a little deeper. And just a few more moments of letting go in a butterfly shape. So know that if at any point, in any shape, you feel like you want to stay there, please do. Because this is a little shorter class, we're going to go ahead and transition into forward fold if that feels right for you. So if you're ready to transition, go ahead and let your upper body. We'll begin to bring knees together and extend legs long toward the front. So you could continue sitting on your blanket. Take a moment to feel sit bones ground. In this shape, feel free to bend the knees if your hamstrings are tight like mine. But we come to a tall spine, reach fingertips toward the ceiling. We could stay right here, or maybe we start to hinge forward, folding over the legs. And even if knees aren't bent, feel the extension through your heels. And then see where you can let go here. The next little bit. Maybe the exhales allow you to settle deeper. So take a few more breaths in this shape. So again, if this is feeling really nice this morning and you want to hang out, please do. If you're ready to transition, begin to lift your upper body. We'll take hands behind, find a bend in the knees with feet on the floor. And this time we'll take a couple of wide windshield wipers in between. So letting knees fall one side to another. And then we'll begin setting up for our next shape, which is going to be a straddle or a wide leg forward fold. So I'm going to turn to face you just so I have a little bit of space, but you can stay exactly where you are. Maybe your sit bones are on your blanket and legs open from here. So again, whatever bend in the knees you need, thinking about extending through the heels with knees and toes toward the ceiling. Fingertips come behind and you might find a little lift of your breastbone toward the ceiling. And feel free to stay here or maybe bring hands in front and begin to walk forward. Nice and slow. Staying with your breath. And staying with sensations within. And just a few more moments here. So again, feel free to stay right in the shape if that feels nice for you this morning. Or begin to lift your upper body. We'll take hands behind, again, if they're not already there. Finding a bend in the knees and a couple of wide kneed windshield wipers to release the shape. So a little bit more hip focus this morning in this practice. And when you're ready, we're coming into a half, I guess you can say cow face. So extending the left leg, I'm going to turn again to create some space for me, but extending the left leg long, you're bringing the right foot over. And right here is a great place to stay, or if you have the space to bring right knee on top of left and pulling your right heel towards your right glute. And then we sit tall, either on the floor or on our prop, staying right here, or maybe begin to hinge forward. If seated pigeon feels better for you, you could do that here as well by taking ankle more toward the knee and then bending the left leg. That is another option. Allowing yourself to settle. To breathe. Just about 5 more breaths. So either staying here if you want more time, or lifting your upper body, taking hands behind, and we'll switch sides. So releasing the right leg from over the left and then extending right heel long, left foot coming over top of right, staying right here, or maybe bring left knee on top of right knee, pulling your left ankle or heel towards your right hip. Sitting tall, staying here again, or maybe begin to hinge from the hip and fold. Breathe and settle. And about 5 more breaths in this shape. And when you're ready, begin to lift your upper body. Taking hands behind, help unwind the legs. Taking a couple of windshield wipers to release those 2 shapes. And then we'll begin to transition onto the belly from here. I want to show you this option with the blanket. We're coming into Sphinx. So an option to place the blanket underneath your hip bones. It can feel really nice and give a little support for the lower back. So just placing the blanket right underneath hip bones. Feet can be wider than hip width, but we're looking for, if possible, elbows underneath the shoulders and then wrists extending out from the elbows. And take a moment to press hands and elbows into the earth. And we think about the swirly part of the crown of our head, and that finds a little lift. So in this shape, compression in the lower back can be actually pretty healing. But if you're feeling any sort of pain, go ahead and release down onto the belly. You might take an ear on the mat. Or maybe hand on hand and forehead on the hand. But if you're feeling great, staying here with this lift through the swirly part of your head. A little bit of opening through your front body. Take a moment to check in with the glutes. They feel engaged. Press your hips more into the mat. 5 more breaths. And when this feels complete for you, lift your elbows a bit so you can roll your body down. And again, you might take hand on hand and forehead on your hand, or maybe an ear on the mat. We'll find a place to let this settle for a couple of breaths. And when your back feels neutralized, pressing back to a child's pose, you might lift up through tabletop. So options to bring toes together and knees wide and sitting back on heels. Your arms might extend toward the opposite wall, or maybe hands come by your feet, forehead toward the ground. Knees could be together if that's more comfortable. And let it settle. And when you're ready, begin to press back up into a tabletop. The transition here is onto your back. So maybe you cross ankles, coming onto a seat. I'm going to set my blanket to the side. And we'll meet on your back. Coming into the knees, into the chest. And when you're ready from this shape, extend legs long and bring arms overhead. And we're heading into what is called a banana asana, a banana shape. So we're bringing arms and legs over toward the right. And the stretch is in the side body of the left. So shoulders stay on the mat, on the ground, hips stay on the mat and on the ground. Some options from here, you can stack one ankle on top of the other, maybe left on top of right. And then maybe grab an elbow in each hand. And your gaze is wherever it's comfortable. Just a few breaths on this side. And to switch sides, you might release the elbows, cross the ankles, come back to center. When you find center, reach long. And then begin to switch sides, bring your arms and legs over toward the left. Find those options if you like, crossing ankles or grabbing an elbow. Maybe the opposite arm is on top if you're grabbing an elbow. And breathe. And when the side feels complete, bringing everything back to center. Reaching arms overhead and then pulling knees into your chest. So you might take some time to move a little here, maybe rocking side to side or finding a sacral massage by taking knees in circles a couple times one way and switching. But when you're ready, opening arms either like a T or finding goalposts and letting knees fall to the right. Your gaze in this twist is wherever it's comfortable. It could be toward the knees, toward the ceiling, or toward your opposite arm. Just a couple more breaths in the shape. And then when you feel ready to switch sides, bring everything back to center. Maybe a squeeze of the knees in between. Releasing back down with arms like a T or goalposts, and then letting knees fall to the left. you are ready, bring your knees back to center with a squeeze. And either from here, rock up to a seat, or if you're feeling like a Shavasana this morning, maybe extend legs back down onto the floor long. Setting up for your rest. You've come up into a seat. I'll meet you here with hands at heart center. So either enjoy your Shavasana for the next few moments, or coming to your seat to start your day. Either way, I bow to you, I honor you, I thank you so much for joining us. See you tomorrow. Namaste.